I said my wife will have to quit her job if we get booted from another daycare. Look, me and my wife Rachel both work full-time, and our 3-year-old daughter Mia has been in daycare since she was 1. In the past 2 years, we've been asked to leave 2 different programs because my wife is basically a helicopter parent on steroids. The first place was this nice center downtown. I learned pretty quick that daycare isn't like having a personal nanny. They've got 20 other kids to watch. But Rachel, she'd sit at work watching the live feed on her phone all day, calling them every hour to check on Mia. Is she eating enough? Why is that boy near her toy? Can you make sure she doesn't get cold during nap time? I tried talking to her about it, but she'd get defensive. I'm just being a good mom, she'd say. The daycare talked to us twice about it, but Rachel didn't listen. Then one day, she saw another kid push Mia on the playground through the camera feed. She drove straight from work, stormed into the classroom, and started screaming at the teacher about how they weren't protecting her daughter. The director kicked us out that same day. Second daycare was better for about 3 months because Rachel started therapy, but she still found something to complain about every single day when she picked up Mia. A kid took her crackers. Someone bumped into her during circle time. The teacher didn't immediately notice when Mia needed her shoe tied. These people were saints for putting up with it as long as they did. Finally, they sat us down and basically said, maybe this isn't the right fit, in the nicest way possible. I could see it in their eyes though. They were done with my wife's daily drama, so we found this smaller home daycare run by this woman named Janet. She watches maybe 8 kids max out of her house, and she's super sweet but also doesn't take any crap. No live cameras, no constant updates, just drop off at 8 and pick up at 5. I thought we were golden for like 2 months. Mia was happy, Janet seemed to like her, and Rachel wasn't complaining as much. Then last Tuesday, I get added to a group text. Janet had sent Rachel and me about 6 pages of highlighted contract sections. Stuff like, parents may not text during program hours except for emergencies, and daily reports will be provided at pickup, not throughout the day. Apparently, Rachel had been bombarding this poor woman with texts every single day. Is Mia drinking enough water? Can you send me a picture of her lunch? The weather app says it might rain. Please keep her inside. 20 texts before noon. Janet's message was super professional but firm. She said she'd only respond to texts at lunch and after 5 p.m., and if it continued, we'd need to find other arrangements. I was so embarrassed and pissed off. That night after Mia went to bed, I sat Rachel down at our kitchen table. This is it, I told her. This is literally our last option for daycare in this area that we can afford. She started with the usual excuses. I'm just anxious about her. I can't help being worried. It's not my fault I have anxiety. I'd heard it all before. Rachel, if Janet kicks us out too, you're going to have to quit your job and stay home with Mia. Not me, you. Her face went white. You can't be serious. Dead serious. I've been patient. I've supported your therapy. I've tried talking to you nicely about this for 2 years, but you keep getting us kicked out of places, and I'm not losing my job because you can't control yourself. She started crying, saying I was being mean and that I didn't understand her anxiety, but here's the thing. I do understand it. That's why I've been so patient. That's why I encourage therapy. But understanding her anxiety doesn't mean I have to let it destroy our family's stability. Look, I said, I make more money than you do. If one of us has to stay home, it makes sense that it's the person whose behavior is causing the problem. Rachel got up from the table and hasn't really spoken to me since, except to ask about basic stuff like dinner or Mia's schedule. She's been sleeping on the couch for 3 days now.